All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome NBA DFS advice and picks Monday, January 34th. 34th, Jesus, January 31st. Live Q&A for FanDuel, DraftKings, and Yahoo. You know me, Brian Jester, co-founder at Occupy Fantasy, with Boyle and Nick, our NBA writers at OccupyFantasy.com. The daily plug just went live with top plays, lineup strategies, injury scenarios for tonight's slate. So make sure you go check it out, guys. What's up? What's up, Boyle? How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, work ended at 4:30, and I'm talking with you guys at 4:35, so it can't be much better than that.
Seamless transition from the work life to the NBA DFS life. I'd love to see it. Nick, I hope you're recovered a little bit from your Chiefs loss yesterday.
Yeah, man, it was rough. I thought we were going to the Super Bowl, but it is what it is. Always got next year, so gotta look forward to going to the Bowl next year.
Absolutely. I love
And
the
that
positive thinking.
was brutal. I had a KC Rams bet from back in September to go to the Super Bowl, and I was just like, oh, I got this in the bag. And then it was just, oh, fuck.
Especially once they won the coin toss, right, dude? Damn.
Yeah, I was like, there's no shot they would lose that. I was like,
and they're up
that was
21-3. That was kind of my indication where I was like, oh, I could probably go do something else and not have to sweat this out. But nope, I guess not.
Wrong. NFL always keeps you on your toes, but we're here to talk about NBA DFS over the next 20 minutes or so. We'll be here till about 4:55 p.m. Eastern. If you guys have questions about tonight's NBA DFS slate, lots of injuries to discuss. Go ahead and throw your questions in the live chat. Boyle and Nick will answer them here live on stream. Again, any questions that they don't answer, you can hop on our Discord server, click the join button below this video, and chat with other members of the OccupyFantasy.com community. Super Bowl is in 2 weeks, though. Quick transition. Lots of videos coming out. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel to get notified when we go live for any of these NBA videos, but also for all the NFL videos that we'll be uploading over the next couple of weeks. So, that being said, I'm going to hop out of here. I'm going to turn it over to Boyle and Nick as they take your NBA questions. So, Boyle, go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, so tonight is a pretty straightforward night from what it seems. There's a couple key injuries tonight. I was just going to go over those real quick before I pass it along to Nick. Joel Embiid being out, probably the biggest news. Obviously, that affects Drummond, affects Maxey. It could boost up Harris if you want to go high risk. There's just a lot of people you can go there with that news. And then the most recent news was Sabonis. He's now ruled out. So with Sabonis being out, that makes Brogdon, Turner, and Sabonis all out. And you have the two big men in Goga and Brissett are both questionable. And then just looking at the if-then here, there's about four of them listed. De'Aaron Fox, he would affect Halliburton. There's a big Pelican injury news again, like there has been for the past couple nights. Darius Garland, we believe he's going to be out. There's a key person there that it would affect. And with Trae Young, there is a higher risk play, but there's still a play in Kevin Huerter. So I'm going to pass along to Nick. Nick, do you want to highlight, I guess, the key news tonight obviously is Joel Embiid. Do you want to kind of highlight what we're doing with that?
Yeah, for sure. So we just got news. I was actually in class when this happened, but Joel Embiid got ruled out about 10 a.m. Eastern here. So that was massive news just right off the rip of the morning. So it's going to immediately make Maxey and Andre Drummond smash plays on both sides. So we really like them tonight. Basically, they're going to be court plays for at least my lineups and everyone else's lineups. So, and then we got. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say we have a question in the chat from El Feinstein. Basically, can you play Andre the Animal Drummond? I love it with Maxey and low or high risk. Yeah, I mean, I would probably plug those into the lineup I do and just play with it, play around them.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm playing those and everything.
I think for sure because when you take off Embiid, that's their number one scorer and like most usage guys. So that news is going to spread out to Maxey, to Seth Curry, and then most importantly, Drummond mashes when he gets the minutes. So he's number one, then Maxey, and then I'm going to cut into the Heat news real quick because that's also on the low risk. So we got just news that Jimmy Butler's out. He played, I think it was 3 OTs Friday. He's coming off a big game, so they ruled him out earlier. So that means you get Point Hero, and Point Hero is just a different animal. So we think he's a core play as well. It absolutely munch and destroy his price tag on both sides. So.
Perfect. Then if you want to go over, I mean, the other if-thens are pretty straightforward. If De'Aaron Fox is out, we're going Halliburton. Garland's out. We're going Rondo. Pelicans are a little more complicated. Do you want to discuss those? Just because, I feel like this has been news since we did our stream last week, which was almost a week ago.
Yeah, for some reason, the Pelicans just want to put their whole team on questionable. So, I expect Joval, probably to miss again, but he's probably the one I have the least amount of information on. If he would be out, Willie H, or we call him Willie Hernan-Gomez, would be a lock on both sides. He's a really good fancy point per minute guy as well. And then if Ingram and/or Harder are out, it's going to make Devontae Graham an even better play. Um, Obviously, we prefer both of them are out to play Graham, but he's definitely in play if one or the other sits. And then if they all sit, if Ingram and Hart plays, I think Nick Alexander-Walker is in play off the bench. Or if he starts, then he's a good play as well.
Perfect. So we got a question in the chat here. This is actually my next question to you anyway. So there's a lot of value tonight, obviously, with all the injury news we have. Who would be your favorite value on the slate? And you can't give me Drummond because that's obvious.
Favorite value? I would say you want like right now, like before the Pelicans news comes out, or do you want like?
Yeah, do it currently, and then you can always throw in your Pelicans guy if you want. But so just give me someone besides Drummond because I feel like Drummond's kind of just like the donkey talk play.
I think a good value would probably be, I could say Gabe Vincent right now since we know Butler's out. I think he's a good value at 5K. He should get you around 30 fancy points. And I also like, this is kind of FanDuel preferred. He's kind of not really value, but Josh Giddey is 5'7". I really like him tonight on FanDuel at least. I know he's like mid sevens on DK, something off from there, but on FanDuel I'm locking in Giddey. But I didn't want to flood the plays with the plug with plays, so he'd be like the fourth core play if I had to put one in. So
okay, perfect. So we talked value play. What about studs tonight? I feel like there's not really like one stud you're kind of locking in. I feel like there's a lot of ways you can go with it. Do you want to give me like do top two studs?
Well, it was going to be Sabonis, but I was just informed that he's out. So I really like Trae Young tonight. He's 9K on FanDuel, so he's very cheap there, and he gets a pretty cake matchup with Toronto. He should just crush that price tag. I'm thinking like 50, 55 with the ceiling of like 70. So Jaw is up there at 10.5. So he's also a decent elite play, but he wouldn't be my favorite since his price point is pretty high. But I don't think oh yeah, so I was talking to our other writer, Bruce Greer, Ryan, and we were talking about it. Last time Christian Wood played Golden State, he matched, and I put it in the Discord. I was like, I love this matchup with no Draymond. I think Christian Wood's a very, very good high risk elite play. I think he's a really good play as well, and GPP's strictly definitely not a catch play.
I know he's not technically an elite play, but would you categorize LeVert as one of your top plays up there?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. He's been in like past scenarios, he would just like no brainer, just lock him in. But if you look, he's played not good. I mean, he's had, I don't know what, 25, 30 fantasy points. I mean, I still like him a ton because I know his upside and I know he can just crush without Brogdon. We know his usage, but man, he's just not been up to standards. Still think he's a really good player. I still think he's one of the top players on the slate. But like, it's kind of one that you got to think about a little bit more than what you used to just like lock him in, you know?
Lock him in. Okay. No, that's fair. So we have another question here. Feinstein, are we locking Steph in? So I was looking at the model here, and surprisingly, Steph Curry is the second highest owned player on, I should at least say on FanDuel. On DraftKings, he's probably in the top 10. On FanDuel, they say his ownership is supposed to be 55%, which, I mean, it seems high to me, but I mean, with all the value, I'm sure you could pay up. What are your thoughts on Steph?
Yeah, so I've never been one to just absolutely lock Curry into my lineups, even in great spots. He's just very shooting reliant, and as of late, like I'm not trying to be like a Steph Curry hater or anything, but he's just not been the Steph Curry he's not the prime Steph Curry. I don't feel like he broke the record, but he's not like going like over 50% from the field like he was a couple of years ago. So I mean, Trae Young, yeah, he's also scoring lineup. I just like him for 300 less. And then that takes me to my point. I think Andrew Wiggins is a really good mid-tier play tonight at 6K. He just got put in the All-Star game. He's been playing incredible this year. And his usage goes up without Draymond Green on the floor. So I think he's a really good tournament option at pivoting off Curry. And especially if Curry's going to be 60%. I played Curry at 60%. It's not worth it sometimes because the whole field has him. And if he doesn't shoot good that night, you're just going to be automatically ahead of the field. And that's just kind of my take. Obviously, other people might have different takes on Curry. But I think going to the other pieces like Poole and Wiggins are the better move there.
Oh, it's like Wiggins had all that slander on Twitter,
Yeah.
being an all-star starter, and then he comes out and he's just been on fire for the past 2-3 games.
And
So
I don't want to chase, but man, he's shown he can put up a ceiling now, and 6K just doesn't reflect that ceiling yet right now. So
no, it doesn't. So we have another question. El Feinstein got one in. We concerned that Morant gets Thibault all night tonight. He's got a really high price tag, tough matchup. Are we fading him?
So I thought this too. That's a good point. I wrote this up in the plug for Halliburton when he played Philly. I thought he was going to have a very average game because he had 2 great matchups the 2 games before that and kind of sucked. So I think Thibault definitely makes it harder. But I wouldn't fade him just because of Thibault. I did that and I made a mistake there because he can still go off. Like Jaw's so good, he could still go off. Doesn't really matter the matchup with all the usage he gets right now. So I mean, I think you should definitely take note of it, but I wouldn't like not play him because Thibault's guarding him. Put it that way.
Perfect answer. Another question here. So CJ McCollum, is he a good play tonight? I see we have him as our number 2 in the elite options for shooting guards. Do you want to break down CJ a little bit?
Yeah, I think he's a good play as well. You have that salary and you're not going Levert or you're not going like Wiggins. I think he's a good play. He's been another guy. He's kind of scoring reliant as well, so it's a little bit harder for me just to absolutely lock him in. But it is CJ without Dame, so it's already and it's in a good matchup. So I can definitely see it for sure. I'm fine with it.
Perfect. And then we got another question here. I like all the questions. With all the values on the slate, are we still using all of our salary, or are we leaving any left over in high risk?
I think you should use her salary. I mean, unless it's like a 2-game slate, I would try to use most of your salary. I mean, I think it's fine, like especially on like FanDuel DraftKings to leave like 300-400, but I wouldn't leave any more than that. To be honest with you, 300-400-500 is probably the max on a big slate like this.
Yeah, I agree. On those small slates, you're going to want to try to differentiate by obviously lowering the salary because a lot of lineups are going to be the same. Yeah. I think it's an 8-game slate tonight. Most of these people who put lineups in are going to set their like min salary like at most leaving 600 left, and that's still a crazy amount for an 8-game slate. So I agree. I feel like the most I would leave, especially on like FanDuel or something. I know you already said DraftKings. On FanDuel, I would probably leave at most like 400 and 500 if you're really liking the lineup.
On FanDuel, it's a lot easier to leave money because their pricing is already so bad. So you can leave, like, if you love your lineup and it leaves 200, 300, 400, that's fine. I sometimes do that, and it doesn't matter. On DK, I would try to use it all for sure. It's a lot tighter pricing.
I love it. Another question here. Who is your favorite sneaky GPP play tonight? I know you had last 2 streams you had like a sneaky guy you've been talking about. Who's your boy tonight?
You know, I already went over him. My boy's got to be Wood again, Christian Wood. I love him tonight. I think Golden State, I've been attacking Golden State without Draymond because they literally have no one to stop any big guys. I think and especially, he might be my favorite GPP play if Kevin Porter is out because he's going to get all the usage and get all the points in the paint. And we know Wood can just fill up the stat sheet when he gets the usage and stuff. So I think it's Wood. I don't think Wood's going to be that popular. I think he's going to be like 10-15%. And Ryan won a GPP the other day against Golden State with them, so why not run it back?
He did. He had a really good week last week. I don't know if he's watching this or not, but hats off to him. He was on like the hot streak of his life. It was like, was he up in like one weekend?
It was, I don't know, it was almost like 10K or something.
I was going to say, it had to be close to 10K.
6-7K, yeah.
was off of NFL, and the following night he like dinked an NBA too, and he was
It was
just
like
on fire.
one lineup in the NFL Big GPP game,
Yeah, it
$5.
was one
It's
lineup,
like
and he just fucking came in like I think it was like second.
nuts, man. But yeah, we
But yeah, so going back to Wood, I was looking at the model here. It looks like DraftKings ownership 3%, FanDuel 7. So yeah, that would be considered a good sneaky GPP play there.
Yep, that's low owned. If I'm probably just gonna not lock him, but really put him high in my lineup consideration if Kevin Porter is out. So
Perfect. So it looks like we have about 5 minutes left. I know you got to run to get to class, 5 o'clock class. So we'll get you out of here in about 5 minutes.
cool.
So before I go to my next question, let me throw another question from the chat in. Let's say the Pelican guys are ruled out. Are you playing Hernan Gomez over Drummond on FanDuel?
I don't see why you can't just play them both. I mean, on FanDuel, definitely play them both because you can play Hernan Gomez at power forward and Drummond at center. On DK, I would still go Drummond if Joe Ball's out, but I would try to get them both because I don't. Is Hernan Gomez, is he over 6K on DK?
Let me look him up real quick. Let's see. New Orleans. He is for some reason not showing in the
Yeah, I
model.
can't.
I'll have to message Moose
It's
about
fine.
that.
It's fine. Yeah, I would just prioritize Drummond in one lineup if you can't fit them both. But I mean, on FanDuel, there's no reason not to play them both if Joe Ball's out.
So follow up on that. If we're talking about high risk center plays here, that's not named Drummond. Let's say Goga sees the start for the Pacers. How are you playing that? Would you consider it in like super high risk?
I think he's fine. Definitely not in one lineup. If you're 150 maxing, definitely try to get some exposure there. He's just not a person that's by any means safe, but he definitely has a big ceiling.
No, his price tag is up to I think it's 5.9 on DK, 5.3 on FanDuel, so it's definitely up there. I'm not entirely sure exactly what he hit last week, but I know it was close to 10 times value. But he only cost $3,000 last week, so
Yeah. I just you're hoping for at least a 30-point game, and that's just value. So it's definitely up. I think Drummond 3-7, like it's hysterical. He's just gonna mash, and it's not really close. Just it's Drummond, it's Maxey, it's Hero, and then you fill in with the guys we said like Wiggins, Wood, Trey Young or Curry or Morant up top, and just find your way to the top, baby.
no. And then so I'm looking here. Bede being out obviously affects Drummond the most. It affects Maxey. You give me like ranking of like maybe like your next top 2 players in the Sixers there, because I know it would also affect like Harris. It would affect. I mean, obviously it affects Maxey, but I mean, obviously, yeah, it affects more players than just those 2. So I was just curious if you had any other rankings there.
Yeah, I think Harris is fine at 8K. He'll probably get just what his value is, probably about 40, 41, 42. I think Seth Curry's also in play. He's what, like 5'4" and like mid fives on DK as well. So I think I'd probably go Drummond, Maxey, and then very close between Curry and Harris. I'd probably give Curry the edge just because he's cheaper point per dollar wise. And they're gonna need his scoring. So
Yeah, I mean tonight's gonna be a rough matchup as it is against the Grizzlies here. I just pulled up when you were talking what the usage rates were without Embiid on the floor, and the FanDuel points per minute, or what is this, DraftKings, I think? FanDuel points per minute. So I mean Drummond leads the pack with basically 1.3 FanDuel points per minute without Embiid on the floor. Obviously, he's basically, we can call him the lock of the night. I mean,
he's the best play. Yeah.
Barring injury or foul trouble, he's the best play. And we have top usage rate without Embiid on the floor is Tobias Harris. He's got 31%. And then Maxey is pretty close behind with 26%.
Harris, if he was like 7K, I would say walk him. I think since he's priced up, he's a lot harder just to say, all right, I'm just going to play 100% this guy. Because, Harris is a little bit older. He's not like the prime Harris that he used to be. So.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, as a Sixers fan, I definitely want him gone.
And no, I know if Harris listening, like, no offense, like Harris is so good. I'll just like not DFS wise, I'm not into that. So
So let's get you out of
looking
here.
at Maxey.
We got about 1 minute left here, and we got another couple questions. Are you looking to any Thunder value like Kendrick or Ty Jerome?
I never really go to the Thunder past SGA, Dort, and Giddy. Those are kind of my three guys I would only play from them. I think you're kind of reaching for value going for those other guys. And I'd probably go Giddy. Dort is really cheap on FanDuel too. He's definitely a good play at small forward. And then SGA is just too pricey for me right now.
All right, and then last thing we have in the chat here, El Feinstein again. It'll be tough if you had a Chiefs-Rams Super Bowl bet. Yep, we are definitely aware of how the pain feels there. It was
the ring of it, Chiefs Rams just sounds so much better than Bengals Rams.
it
In my
never looks-
opinion, I'm a Chiefs fan though, so I'm a little bit biased. But
the bank account would look a lot better too if that was a nice ring to it. All right, well, let's get you out of here. I know you have class in about 5 minutes, so thank you for squeezing this in before
no problem,
in between
man.
classes. But let me grab. Is Brian still here?
I'm here. Let me come back on. There I am. What's up, guys? Appreciate everyone for listening and tuning in to the NBA live stream. If you have any more questions, make sure you hop in the Discord server. We're in there all night. Talk to other members of OccupyFantasy.com, the staff. Get your questions answered for NBA DFS. Reminder, make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. Get notified when we go live, upload new videos, Super Bowl, tons of new content around the corner. And let me put a little word in about Andre Drummond. You saw the Occupy model up on the screen. His DraftKings and FanDuel value were well above 25, which 20 is elite for a value. Once you get 25 plus, you're talking ridiculous territory. Boy, I think the only one we might have seen higher was that one random Jeremy Lin slate when he was min-priced and they had nobody else, and he was 30 plus. So when you see someone with a value of 24, 28, that's the guy that you want to play.
100% agree. You're gonna lock him in tonight.
Cool. Sounds good. So for Nick at DFS Jayhawk, for Boyle at TBoyle24_DFS, me at Brian Jester FF, us at Occupy Fantasy. Thanks for listening and good luck tonight.
Peace.